You've exited anything with label China on it, whether it's currencies or equities, and you're not alone. I mean, the flow of money out of China has become a bit of a flood. What about? I remember not so long ago Xi Jinping was talking about liberalizing the economy further, opening up limits to foreign ownership, or increasing limits to foreign ownership, et cetera, which theoretically should have driven or sucked a lot of money into China, FDI. That hasn't eventuated either?
Well, it hasn't happened, or it's not happening right now for two reasons. Number one is the economic performance is very poor. So the argument for putting more money in is less. Secondly, the need for FDI in China, given what's happening to global supply chains, they're being shortened, deglobalization is reversing. The need is much less than it was before. And third of all, you have everything which surrounds common prosperity, which is against the sort of enterprise, the sort of people who made money for foreign investors in stocks like Alibaba, digital finance, and I can go on and on and on. So you had three major reversals, which mean that policy isn't working. It doesn't mean that China is going to completely close the doors, but I would say that in a world which is increasingly being characterized by a Cold War, on which China is on one side and Russia is on one side and Western democracies are on another, is not one in which foreign capital is going to be a driver. Not into China, I don't think so.
So, I'm wondering whether or not this is too obvious to state, but let me just throw it out there. I mean, it seems as though you brought up the word globalization. What we've seen over the last 2-3 years, even preceding COVID, has been more decoupling. And I think COVID and possibly the war in Ukraine has just accentuated that. As well, rather than, let's say, just-in-time, nice and smooth manufacturing that the Japanese invented, now companies are talking about how to get around sanctions, how to execute a China plus strategy, et cetera. I mean, things have fundamentally changed and probably are irreversible, do you think?
I think irreversibly changed, certainly in my lifetime. I think people are going back to security. Now, producing things in a production chain which is based on security is not just in time, and it's not a global supply chain, it's security, and it's less efficient, but you're paying for the lesser efficiency by getting greater security. So you produce it closer to home in friendly economies, stable economies. And I think that is the biggest single shift in the global economy, which has only just begun.